Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. You are not as free as you think. In the quiet of your mind, you like to believe you control your desires. But one glance, one breathtaking face or form can hijack that control in an instant. Suddenly you're spellbound, heart quickening, logic evaporating. Something ancient and powerful has seized the reins.
You pride yourself on your strength, your intellect, the empire of your life built by your choices. Yet a simple sight can turn you into a helpless devotee. It might be a pair of bright, youthful eyes or the curve of a smile. In that moment, all your grand ambitions shrink to a single point of focus. The world blurs, and in the spotlight of your attention stands her, the embodiment of beauty. The trap has sprung, and you don't even know it. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself staring at a beautiful stranger without meaning to? Your eyes move before your mind even has a say. It's an involuntary reflex, honed by millions of years, drawing you in. Like a moth to a flame, like a sailor to a siren's song. You follow a lure older than civilization. And just like that moth or that sailor, you risk getting burned on the rocks of your desire. This is the beauty trap. An ancient script woven into your very DNA compels you toward youth, symmetry, softness, cues of fertility and health. Evolution, cunning and indifferent, whispers to your subconscious, "There, go there. She will give you what you need." Sons, daughters, the immortality of your genes. You don't hear the words, but you feel the pull. It's as automatic as gravity, as relentless as hunger. In evolutionary terms, a youthful face, clear skin, bright eyes, and an hourglass figure all scream fertility. In the ancient world, choosing a fertile mate meant lineage instead of extinction. Men who were irresistibly drawn to youth and beauty fathered more children. Those who weren't left none. Generation by generation, that preference etched itself into the male brain. It's a harsh truth. But evolution doesn't care about love or fairness or what society deems proper. It cares only about what gets copies of DNA into the future. And so it has enslaved male desire to a vision of youth and beauty. Enslaved is a strong word. Provocative, yes. But history shows the chains everywhere. Kings and conquerors have thrown away empires for a pretty face. Wise men reduced to fools by a flutter of eyelashes. Our stories and scandals are carved with this pattern. Think of Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. An entire war fought, a great city burned to the ground, all because men could not resist one woman's beauty. Or Cleopatra, who captivated Julius Caesar and Mark Antony and bent the fate of empires around the curve of her smile. She conquered not with swords, but with seduction. Was it really politics and power at play? Or the ancient beauty trap ensnaring even the mighty? History calls it romance and alliance, but beneath it lay the primal snare of attraction. In myth and folklore, beauty was often cast as a dangerous weapon because we sensed its terrifying power. The ancient Greeks warned of sirens so lovely, their song would lure sailors to ruin. Medieval tales blamed enchantresses and succubi for seducing men's souls, as if admitting that a man's will could melt under a woman's gaze. We invented femme fatales in noir films and sang ballads of beguiling witches. Men have long painted beauty as the predator, externalizing the trap, because it was easier than facing the vulnerability it exposed in themselves. But this isn't ancient history. Look at your own life. How often has a hint of beauty led you somewhere you swore you wouldn't go? Perhaps a toxic relationship you clung to because the physical attraction was like a drug. Or a decision you made because a charming smile clouded your judgment, only for you to regret it later. Maybe it's more subtle, the daily barrage of images, An ad with a gorgeous model that makes you stop scrolling and suddenly desire something you never needed. Small moments, big influence. Beauty weaving its spell and guiding your choices without you even noticing. Modern society has amplified this signal beyond anything our ancestors knew. We live in a world of faces. Billboards, glowing screens, magazines, movies. Those fertility cues that evolution taught you to prize are now commodities, packaged and sold. Men of the past might have encountered a few beautiful women in a lifetime. You encounter hundreds in a single afternoon online, each one a potential trigger, a hit of primal longing. Our forefathers were never prepared for such an onslaught. Think of the hours and money spent in pursuit of beauty, the dates, the gifts, the endless swipes and clicks. Entire industries thrive on this fuel. Advertisers slip an attractive woman next to a product knowing it will seize your attention. Influencers and entertainers bank on the fact that a pretty face or a fit body will draw your gaze. It's a billion-dollar marketplace built on hijacking that ancient instinct. Every time you linger on a risque photo or click on a suggestive video, you are feeding that marketplace. You are the willing captive, and they are profiting from your captivity. Consider pornography, a vast digital harem at your fingertips, promising satisfaction but often leaving only emptiness behind. It hijacks your mating instincts, flooding your brain with stimulation while draining your time and vitality. Men get lost in that labyrinth of illusion while the real world passes by outside. What an irony. Evolution drove men to desire fertile mates to further life. Yet here we are, spilling our energy on fruitless fantasies that create nothing at all. Even the respectable corners of life aren't immune to the beauty trap. Think of how many decisions, hiring choices, favors done, chances given, have been swayed by a pretty face. A charismatic colleague who gets away with mistakes because her smile melts the boss. A stranger whose request you grant because her attractiveness disarms your caution. We tell ourselves we're rational, but these biases run deep. We are often puppets, unaware of our own strings, dancing to the tune of beauty, even in boardrooms and classrooms. It's easy to laugh at the cliché of the middle-aged man chasing a woman half his age. But be honest, haven't you felt that tug in your own way? The whisper that younger might just be more exciting, more alive? That whisper promises to recapture a slice of your own lost youth, to make you feel vibrant and powerful again. It's a lie, and it can cost you everything. Families have shattered, fortunes dwindled, reputations ruined, because men believed trading the old for the young would rejuvenate their souls. Instead, they often end up ghosts at the banquet, surrounded by hollow victories and regret. The beauty trap has countless victims, and not just in epic tales or high-profile scandals. It ensnares ordinary men every day. The shy student who loses himself in daydreams about the pretty classmate and lets real life pass him by. The married man who risks his marriage for a fling that ignited that ancient urge. The lonely soul who pays for a few moments of attention from a cam girl on a screen. These stories are so common they've become cliches, yet each is a small tragedy driven by the same primal force. That force doesn't care about your values or your good intentions. You might truly respect women, love your partner, pride yourself on being above shallow impulses, and still your heart can skip a beat for a stranger with a beautiful face. Then comes the guilt, the excuses. I'm only human. It's harmless to look, but behind that excuse, Mother Nature is grinning, pleased that her program is still running smoothly inside you. Harmless? Perhaps, until a look leads to a thought leads to an action, and a life veers off course, all because some ancient whisper in your mind said, "That one, she could be the one." We men have built civilizations, philosophies, and religions to elevate ourselves above the beasts of the field. And yet, this one primal weakness shows how tethered to our biology we still are. In the presence of beauty, the warrior becomes a worshiper, the scholar a poet, The rationalist, a daydreamer. We are not as in control as we pretend to be. It would be almost funny if it weren't so haunting. After all our progress and pride, we can still be reduced to longing stares and foolish acts by something as simple and natural as a pretty face. So where does this leave us? Are we doomed to be slaves to this instinct forever? Eyes forever roving, hearts forever vulnerable to beauty? Must we admit that our lofty talk of free will is just that, talk, washed away by the first wave of temptation nature sends? It's a bleak thought. But maybe recognizing these chains is the first step to loosening them. Are you truly the master of your desires, or merely a slave dreaming of freedom? When beauty calls, who is really answering?